It's my last presentation. Thank you. Thank you to organizers for letting me to present these two topics. I think you will see that they somehow connect together. Economy starts in the family, and I'm starting with showing the graph, which shows, because my background is in economics and cultural studies, and what I try to do is to do research and analyze how culture, economy, and family are interconnected, and how family serves as a crucial institution in terms of coordinating all these three spheres you have here: society, economy, and person, individual. And first point, it may seem obvious, but it's necessary to talk about it and mention this, that family is the source of biological, social and cultural and economic reproduction as well. So it all begins in the family. Family is the transmission belt of culture, which means that new generations are prepared to perform and undertake different social, professional roles and so on, mainly in the family. Of course, there are schools, kindergartens, there are neighborhoods and so on and so on. So, of course, it takes place in different places, but family is the main transmission belt. And it was obvious in sociology for many years, and this is one of the basic sociological facts. And family is the unique social interface or mediating structure, that's also a sociological term, which connects individual and introduces individuals to different social spheres. So we enter larger subsystems of society with the help and support of the family. Another thing that is important to say is the well-functioning family, because saying that economy starts in the family is just the very general statement. Of course, we are, and I'm not trying to say that family is always the ideal institution and everything is perfect in the family. Yeah, we live in a real world when different families function more or less better, sometimes worse, and so on and so on. What I'm trying to communicate is that the construction of the family and the nature of the family makes it most suitable, or makes it, I would say, the perfect machine for being this foundation for society and economy development. So well-functioning family is the key to the well-being and the welfare of society. And very interesting Harvard happiness study, one of the, I think, the longest research project in social sciences, started in 1930s. There's a lot of materials about it, and the book was published recently, I guess. Key result is that close, intimate relationships in the family are most important for our happiness. I encourage you to look to this study. It's almost 100 years since it has been started. The family is the foundation of stability, wealth, and development of local communities. This will be somehow explained a bit later. The family determines the recreation, reproduction, and development of the community. This was also already signaled. The family ensures intergenerational continuity and social cohesion. The family is the basic economic entity and the sphere of capital accumulation and one of the main entrepreneurship driver. Most of the companies, which pretty often become big, international and so on, their beginnings were as the family companies. And family is the main source of human and social capital. This is Becker, Mintzer, and others who show this, and Coleman in sociology when it comes to social capital theory. And this is the graph which somehow offers the map. What does it mean to say that family is the foundation, catalyst, and insurance for socioeconomic development and active economic unit at the same time? I'm just trying to use this. I hope I will not point it anybody's eyes. No, I will just be careful. Okay? So when we start, I don't know if you see something. Let's start from the foundation. We have some natural and cultural context, socioeconomic situation, legal and institutional elements of place and community, which are the soil and the foundation on which people make their living. And we have family as the starting point, which makes procreation and affirmation possible. I use the term affirmation on purpose because social sciences and natural sciences have problems with talking about love. Yes, love is not a scientific term. So, but affirmation is maybe it's more psychological term, which means that there is a first place when the new human being is welcomed, is taken care of, is accepted. Then we have saving and inheritance, which takes place in the family. I mentioned this, that parental love is the main, according to economics, is the main stimulus for saving activity, and invention and know-how. This is this talent pool that I mentioned earlier. And it means, it translates into socialization as preparing for entering society, accumulation and investing, which means that through inheritance, gifts within the family, older generations transfer wealth to younger generations, which of course is is connected with the fact that not always, but sometimes, the younger generations transfer wealth to older generations when the older generations are no longer productive in terms of economic activity. Yes, so this transfer and distribution of wealth is taking place. Exchange of goods also is taking place in the family. And on the right we have the production in the family, which means that family, and it will be shown in a moment, produces services and goods which account for at least 30% of GDP. This was Gary Becker. Other economists, I will mention him, Steinringen, he says that probably even 50% of what we have, 50% of wealth that we have, comes from the economic activity of the family. And these are goods and services which complement state or market supply, which means that, of course, it can be that we can buy, and we live in times where it's, I think, already possible that you can buy everything in the market, yes, in terms of goods and services, yes, but still, and it is different in different places, families and so on, still some portion of goods and services we get within families. And these activities translate into goods and services, as I said, economic capital from accumulation and investing, social capital and human capital through socialization, and these capitals are necessary for economy, and this, let's say, envelope, this figure in the under the umbrella, if you see that, covers 4 basic elements of economic process: production, consumption, exchange, distribution. And we are living in times where when we say distribution, of goods redistribution. Yes, most what we hear is that the state redistributes our taxes, different money into social policies and so on and so on. But there happens very important aspect of distribution within the family, which means because when we live the Homo economicus model, which says that we are individuals, we are driven by utility, yes, and we act to maximize our individual utility, yes. And this is only true, this is partly true, because when we think about the father and mother of the family, and these are economists like Alfred Marshall, who were describing this, when we think about the mother and the father, they go to the market pretty often to earn money, but they earn it not for themselves only, because they go back home and they distribute these goods among the members of the household, yes? Which means that this aspect of the distribution, and this distribution, for example, also acts as a kind of insurance, yes? So, for example, when we, one of the members of the family loses his job or becomes sick, ill, disabled, yes? Of course, in many aspects, he can count on state authorities, institutions, and so on, but still he can, and in some cultures he mainly can count on his family to act as a kind of insurance agency, yes, in case of some socioeconomic problems. Consumption, of course, it doesn't have to be commented. Exchange of goods, as I said, inheritance, and production will go back in a moment. And this umbrella means insurance of economic system that I have just described. And in the long run, family is supporting long-term economic growth. Ukrainian crisis, for example, I'm from Poland, and I'm happy to say that everybody was, or many people were surprised, how is it possible that millions of refugees could be taken care of without refugee camps, yes? This was this potential of households and families who acted as an insurance or an emergency institution in this context. So this is the whole map, just to give some look at the topics I'm trying to say. And now these examples of economists. Without the functioning of households, the material standard of living would be lower by more than half, 50%, which means that the contribution of work done at home is equal to the activity performed in the market, in the factories, in enterprises, and so on. Family is the invisible economy producing invisible wealth, because GDP doesn't see it. Yes, this is Alvin Toffler, and this round shape is not an accident. Household work includes activities specific to how many different professions? What's your guess? This is a German study done years ago, that parents, and it has to be said, at least in Poland, mostly mothers, yes, perform actions that are included in how many professions?
100.
A lot.
How many?
100?
No. They counted only 25. But I think it's already enough, yeah? So if we imagine how many different things are done at home, this is something is moved in this presentation, but so why should we pay attention to what happens to the family if we want to take care of our economy? In the United Kingdom, they have, in 2008, they started to count the cost of family breakdown. It is Relationships Foundation, which every 3-4 years does the estimation, and at least what I have found that the latest the data is for 2018, and it is 51 billion pounds, which means that it is something about almost 2,000 pounds per taxpayer annually. Yeah, and we have tried and we did such estimation for Poland. I must admit that we were not able to get the data from all the institutions that we tried, so this almost 7 billion Polish zloty is just the minimum that can be shown, and I'm happy to say that it was first such report for Poland, and I think fourth in the world, because it was done so far by Americans, Australians, United Kingdom, and we did it for Poland. Maybe there will be chance to repeat it because it's good to see the tendency, but it's hard to say at the moment. So real money is paid by our societies because relationships, families break. And late discovery, not the latest because it's been a few years already, but very important discovery in social policy, because for years at least, especially in the United States, and I think this tendency is also strong in Europe. In social policy, we pretty often believed that if we put enough money into the system, into the disadvantaged households, families, money will do what's necessary. And in Budapest 3 weeks ago, you had the occasion to host Professor James Heckman at the Budapest Demographic Summit, who says no parenting, and he's a Nobel Prize winner also for the research and results that he offers by saying parenting, not just money. The quality of parental care and this quality of parental care in the first 3, let's say 5 years of a child life are crucial for skills, for human skills. They are often called soft skills. And soft skills are make a big difference in terms of educational attainments and then professional attainments. Families do a lot more than just pass genes. Upbringing or parenting matters. The true measure of child poverty and better opportunities is the quality of parental care the child receives, not the amount of money at the household's disposal. Americans simply verified this, that money pumped into the social, and I think in many places in the world, the same has been done, that money spent on social policy that is not including helping parents and families do better is not the money spent in the best way. Family factors can influence children from as early as when they are in the womb. This is James Heckman once again. Children raised in intact families have on average higher academic achievement, better emotional health, and fewer behavioral problems. And family breakdown significantly affects economic mobility of children. I will try this time to be on time, but not easy. So, socialization, parental care, trust, responsibility, civil maturity, and these are very good, and it's very good described and illustrated by different economists like Jennifer Roebuck Morse. I recommend the book Love and Economics. Gary Becker, of course, and James Heckman once again with his soft skills. This is quite interesting and important, and it's a subject to its promotion in the United States recently, so-called success sequence. So, for centuries, our civilization followed this order of decisions, yes? So the grandparents and our ancestors said, well, now get educated first, then get a job, then get married, then become a parent, and then you will be rich, yeah? So the researchers tried to test if our grandparents and ancestors were right, yeah? And the current data shows that yes, this so-called traditional or conservative or old-time, old-school lifestyle is the most effective in terms of achieving material standard of a middle class, so good, convenient living. If you mess up with this order, you will not land up in a good material situation. Conclusions. Family conditions the multidimensional production and development of society. Numerous studies confirm the essential role of family structure and stability for the multidimensional condition of society and economy. Solutions that favor fertility, high quality socialization, innovation, and social cohesion are pro-developmental. And two last points. Family policy is a strategically important area of action for development and state security in different aspects, economic, military, cultural. And in terms of us, we are all responsible for creating the optimal legal, institutional, and cultural context for families to work effectively. So they can simply work in the best possible way with best possible outcomes. Thank you very much. I only exaggerated, crossed the time by 1 minute, sorry.
Fine.
Thank you very much.